Hey everyone, Christian here, and it's been a while since the last palm review, so I wanted to do a palm that I don't believe I've done before. This is Pritchardia pacifica, also known as the Fiji fan palm. So, Pritchardia is a genus that is almost entirely endemic to Hawaii, with only 3 or 4 species that are outside of Hawaii. This is actually one of them, and it is native to most of French Polynesia, the Cook Islands, that sort of area, all those small islands to the west and southwest of Hawaii. And it is a very fast-growing fan palm. It's one of the fast-growing fan palms I know. Unfortunately, it was introduced into Hawaii and now grows much faster than the native Hawaiian Pritchardias. And so they have decided to plant this instead of the native stuff just because it grows faster, much like they will plant Washingtonias instead of palmettos in areas like Florida or California, because they will get a faster plant out of it. And so it's kind of run rampant in areas like Hawaii and some other tropical areas. But if you've gone to like a resort in the Caribbean or in Asia, these have probably been out front of a hotel or a bar that you may have gone to. They're very popular. They have nice wide glaucous leaflets that kind of carry this white tomentum on the back, and it has a nice elegant look. You can see the new spear there has that tomentum as well. And you can get out of a subtropical summer, you can get almost a full head of leaves. 4 or 5 leaves will come out, and as long as it's well watered and gets a decent amount of sun. This gets mostly midday sun, not as much sun in the morning or afternoon because of the late afternoon, because of the way the plants are in this garden. But it's a really nice plant. The downside for it, for most of us growing in the subtropics, is that we're kind of in mid zone 10, kind of a border between 10A and 10B. And if this plant is out in the open and is not protected from the cold, dry winds, when it does get into the upper 30s, it starts to get brown spotted, and it just won't look its best. In fact, some of this spotting here to these bottom leaves is probably from cold damage from the past winter. So I had a friend who had one of these. It was about 5 or 6 feet tall, or had 5 or 6 feet of trunk. Once it got over his roof, it was starting to get battered by the cold winds in the wintertime. So if you want to grow this, you're gonna want to have to protect it. It will live through any kind of zone 10 winter for the most part, but it won't look its best unless it really has a protected area in the garden outside of the tropics. So unfortunately, unlike Hawaiian Pritchardias, which can handle some cold and some frost, this doesn't like it at all. Although I did protect one that I had about this size about 8 years ago during the really bad cold spells we had, and it did survive 28 degrees with just some frost cloth on. So anyway, the way to kind of tell Pritchardia seed apart is that the more tropical the plant, the smaller the seed is. So it has seeds the size, they're like half the size of a green pea, and they'll germinate really fast, and they're really nice and easy. They're really easy to grow. They like a nice, it doesn't have to be a fast draining soil. They kind of like a little bit swampier. I mean, you don't want like muck, but your basic garden soil will be just fine. And just throw them in there, give them plenty of heat, and they'll do pretty well. You'll need to transplant them out of there pretty fast once they germinate. But the Hawaiian species they'll have seeds the size of a marble or even larger. They get almost the size of a golf ball, some of the very rare highland Hawaiian species. So this one you can kind of tell apart from many Hawaiian species because the leaves are not very. All Pritchardias are going to have some form of costa palmate leaf to it. You can see right there the bend, right where the petiole meets the frond, and you can see that there's a little bit of a curve there. Most non-Hawaiian species or Polynesian species are going to have a very flat leaf, and the Hawaiian ones are going to have a more costa palmate structure to them. So there'll be a deeper bend right here. So you can notice that. You can kind of differentiate the Hawaiian from the non-Hawaiian ones. I think that really that the Hawaiian ones grow in a I would say, a cooler climate, because they do grow in the highlands, so they see some cooler temperatures. Maybe not frost, but just non-tropical temperatures, say the 40s, every season. So they kind of have a different structure to their leaflet. It may be for they get different types of rain, different amounts of rainfall as well. It's kind of hard to say, but it is kind of a reliable way to tell the difference between the Hawaiian and non-Hawaiian species. So these you can find usually around a decent number of nurseries. You can probably find them on eBay. I wouldn't recommend growing these outside, like getting them established, say in Florida or other subtropical areas during the winter time. Like try and get one during the spring. But they, because once they get in the ground, they will be slightly more cold hardy. But they do best when when they have plenty of tropical heat to work with. So if you guys have any more questions about Pritchardia pacifica or other Pritchardias, feel free to leave it down below. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe, and look forward to many more pollen videos. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see everyone next time.